Okay, so today I had a shutdown where I picked up my journal from next to me, started recording kind of what was going on internally. As a disclaimer, it's an autistic shutdown is a pretty complex thing which varies between individuals, I would say. It's different for everybody, as I always say, so this is just how I experienced it today. But yeah. So I'll start reading a semi-edited version of it here. And I want to read it, I want to deliver it in a way that I thought it in my head, not like monotone the whole time. Okay. I went into this familiar shutdown where I felt unsafe and ashamed. And my first reaction was to isolate myself, thinking that I'm too much and being paralyzed with shame for just existing, not wanting to be seen, internalizing, not expecting to be accepted. A deep-rooted fear, and it's terrifying, it's lonely, it's discouraging. I've literally shut down to the point I can't access words to express my experience. Almost like a helpless child. No idea how to relieve this. Being perceived would magnify this experience. A deep shame and feeling of unworthiness. That I don't want to leave my room for at least overnight. As I begin to come out of it, I proceed to label it as a paralyzing experience. I recognize that speech may not be impossible in this state, but it would be destabilizing. I could barely comprehend how to explain it in writing at first, even in a safe place as my dark, quiet bedroom under the covers, having just awoken from a disorienting nap state. As I continue to regulate through these feelings, I am sure that being around people, especially if being scolded or interrogated, would only push me further into shutdown. If someone who cared about me wanted to help me get through this while being present, and I added later that it's not a need, but it also wouldn't be a hindrance, I would prefer they leave me some space and sit quietly with me, not staring at me, just existing quietly in the same space while I write it out. I'm realizing now that a lot of the shame is embarrassment. Movement is becoming more accessible, but speech is not. It has been at least half an hour since I went into the shutdown. I recognize that I am thirsty, so I drink from my water bottle. I was thirsty all along, but too frozen to access that recognition or ability to meet that need. I am 24, and this is my first time recording a shutdown. I am focusing on my breathing and finding one spot in the room, rather than darting my eyes around the room frantically, as I had been doing since sort of unfreezing. I think by the hour mark I'll be able to function again. However, I may stagger a bit longer without speech. I feel guilt for responding in this way to stress, even when arguably regulated. I would appreciate patience and gentle reassurance. I feel really embarrassed, and at this point, I may tear up or cry. I give myself a hug. I don't have two arms. I give myself a hug and gently rub my arm. If I were with a loved one, this would be a good point for them to ask if I'd like a hug. I might nod yes or shake my head no, or I might even say verbally yes or no. Blanket is appreciated. Comfortable seating is appreciated. A dimly lit, quiet environment is appreciated. My sense of safety is coming back online. I feel extremely vulnerable. Reassurance to me might sound like, you're okay, it's okay, you're safe, or we're safe. I'm still dysregulated. I would appreciate a comfort show or comforting music. In the instance I have responsibilities, headphones would help me complete my tasks. If I have to drive, my comfort playlist will help me complete that drive. I might start stimming here. When speech comes back online, I'll be willing to eat. I'm not there yet. I would appreciate compression, like a weighted blanket or clothing. At this point, I still need space from crowded spaces, noise, and light. Headphones and sunglasses help. I can recall many times I've had this experience, which I'm not gonna share here. At this point, I should start reassuring myself. Still self-soothing, but not yet speaking. If speech is not physically required, I will go without it as long as I need. Forcing it will only prolong recovery time needed later. I begin to feel safe enough to eventually reintegrate. Eye contact, similarly to speech, I feel like I would explode. Demands are less overwhelming, but I need patience. If I struggle with initiating speech, some transitions that help me are humming or small words like yes or no. Understandably, I'm tired or thirsty or hungry, etc. following a shutdown. This shutdown was about an hour and 20 minutes. I am learning to cope and regulate, so I might avoid getting to the point of shutdown. Sometimes they're inevitable. I am being patient with myself. I appreciate when others are patient with me. I beat myself up a lot over this response. And I'm recording this about 3 hours after the shutdown. I have been watching The Amazing Digital Circus, and I just made some food. It's supposed to be a chicken wrap, but you know, it doesn't meet my expectations, but it's fine. Upon reflecting, since this shutdown, I added to my script that some goals post shutdown include prioritizing self-care. I have a goal to have shorter shutdowns. And to try to soften triggers that build up to it because it's a lot of things. And I'm still learning. I know there's like not really shame in it, that it feels like, as much shame as it feels like there is. Like, everyone struggles. Some people are older and still struggling and still learning, and I'm considerably young to be on this journey, I guess, but it's frustrating, and a lot of times I feel like it keeps me from being able to do things that people seem to do rather easily. It's a vulnerable video as much as it was vulnerable to journal about. It's vulnerable to share, and I'm gonna keep watching my show now, and I don't think I'm gonna edit. I'm just gonna put it up and never look at it again, maybe, because I proceed to need to regulate, and I'm gonna finish this chicken wrap and watch my show and go to sleep. But yeah, I hope this could be informative or relatable. It's not like diagnostic criteria, but it's just one person's experience. And okay, it's been nice hanging out with you all. I'm going to have a pleasant evening. I hope you do as well.